Hi everyone. So I was out here doing some shop work today, and I wanted to show you my Gravely. I'm servicing it here, and I finally found my tripod for my phone so I can kind of set it up and you can watch me kind of service this. This is a LI, Gravely LI, walk behind tractor, made in 1953. It has an oil bath air cleaner, which I just took off. I got that off and was servicing it and was looking around for some of the things I needed, and I found my tripod, so I decided I'd start making a video here. But it's over there. I'll show you it here in a minute. It has a Zenith cast iron carburetor, and it works real well. I'd gotten another Gravely that was not running and salvaged some parts off of it. I put this governor on there. Gravely's did not come with a governor. You had to just work the throttle here to keep it where it's need to be RPM wise, but they did not have a governor. There's some companies that came out afterwards and made some aftermarket parts for these. There was a company that made an overhead valve conversion, which I have one on my other Gravely, and I eventually want to put it on this one. But also the governors. I think Gravely did make that governor. I could be wrong about that though. But there were some other companies out there that made aftermarket stuff like that. It is factory 6.5 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but this was a Gravely engine. It was not like a Briggs or a Cooler or something like that. This is a Gravely engine, and they designed them with a long stroke, so they have a lot of torque, and they'll run a lot of things, even though they're a low horsepower. I got this Gravely, I bet it's been at least maybe 18 years ago. At our old place, I was mowing my hillside, which was pretty steep, and a neighbor came through on his horse. He rode his horses up through our place and said, "I got just a thing for you. I can't run anymore. Stop up." And I stopped up at his place, and he showed me this. And I came with the brush hog that's on there now, a rotary plow. What else did he have? He did not have the rototiller. I got that later. A rotary plow. And I think the finish mower, the round finish mower with the 2 blades. Oh, and a sickle bar mower. I later then bought a newer Gravely, still an LI, but it's like an early 60s model. And I got a snow blade with it, or a dozer blade with it. Another sickle bar. I got this sulky with it, which needs painted. And I can't remember what else I got with that. Oh, a rototiller. I got a rototiller with it. And I've just loved this. It's electric start. This thing is basically indestructible. It requires very little maintenance. It fires up for me and runs all the time. This new ethanol fuel does not seem to bother it too much. I would thought it would. I do put treatment in it. I'm looking for a source around me where it's ethanol 0, but it doesn't seem to bother this Gravely at all. It fires up all the time. It's been the most reliable thing for me. It takes a regular screw-on oil cartridge filter. Let me get a light here to help us. Okay, yeah, just a screw-on cartridge filter. It's got a magneto, and right here is the where the air cleaner goes. I'm going to take you over there and show you how I service that. But this thing's real easy to service. You drain the oil under here. You take these, take a bolt out of the axle housing, and that just drains the oil out. And you fill it right here. This cap just pops off there. Fill it up. The original Gravely called for straight 40 weight oil in the summer and 20 weight in the winter. For a long time, I was able to find some 40 weight through Wolf's Head. Wolf's Head was the only one that sold straight 30 weight. Then after a while, I couldn't find that anymore. So for the last, I'd say 5 years, I've been running 1540 in it, and it seems to be just fine. I checked the oil in this already, and it is just clean and clear. I don't really know how many hours I had on it last year. We were busy moving in here, so I didn't use this a whole lot. So I'm not even going to worry about changing the oil. But the air filter, the air cleaner, it's an oil bath cleaner, was just disgusting. And I got a lot of it cleaned up already. I wish I'd found this earlier and showed you guys. Magneto air cooled, has a fan in the back. It runs off this belt. There's a fan inside there. So to service it though, check your oil, clean out your air cleaner, the oil bath air cleaner. I like to blow around here when that's just regular when you're using it. Get all this air fins blowed out of there as best you can, just to keep it from overheating and stuff. That the cooler you keep these air cooled motors, the better off you are. Let me think. As far as the tractor, your carburetor bowl back here, clean that out. I check that every time before I run it and clean it out as necessary. But as far as your yearly service, that's really about it. Charge your battery up. It does not have a battery charging system on this. It starts with the battery, but there's no generator on this or anything to recharge the battery. So after so many uses, you just put it on a battery charger. Now the implements that go on here, they require some service too. There's 90 weight gear oil in here. There's a couple grease fittings. There's a grease fitting right here. That's your swivel. So when this thing's going along, it'll swivel. And there's a blade underneath there. You should keep that sharpened. This needs some other repair work. I gotta fix a crack here, weld that up. But yeah, it's a great machine. I love it. It's got a counterweight in between your duals on both sides. It's been very reliable. I've used it. We had a large garden in our place before. I'm talking, it's like quarter to a third of an acre garden, and I used to do the whole thing with that. And it does take a toll on you. The neighbor guy I got it from, he said, I can't run it anymore. I was in my early 20s at that time. He said, I can't run it anymore. If you can run it, it's yours. I want it to go somewhere. I want it to go somewhere that's going to be used. And so he gave it to me. And it's been a real blessing. Really enjoyed having it. So this is the top of the air cleaner. This is the inside of that. And I already kind of cleaned the bottom part. It was pretty nasty. But all you do is when you clean that out real good, I don't know if that'll show up. Right there it says oil level, which is basically right here. So inside here, it's basically right here. You just fill that up with, I put straight 30 weight oil in that. I don't like to put a detergent oil in that, just straight 30 weight. I don't think it really matters, but still, I don't like it. If you have a solvent tank, that's the best way to do this. I don't have one as of yet. I'd like to get one soon. So I'm just getting this real heavy stuff off of this. I was doing quite a bit of mowing here at our new place last summer. And it tends to get pretty gunked up. You get a little bit of oil on this. And then it just, all the pollen and seeds off the grasses and that, it just sticks to it. It'll just cling to this. It's not doing too bad though. We're getting it. I want to do more videos like this, but I don't have a good way of editing right now. So something simple like this, I don't mind. I don't want you to sit there for hours watching me fumbling around looking for tools. I'm still trying to get this new shop situated, and my tools are scattered right now. And if you're like me, that drives you nuts, because I'm real kind of OCD about organization. Look inside there. See if you can see that all up in here. That's just full of grass and gunk and all kind of stuff. That's where the air comes in. It comes in around this top. And then it comes in and comes down through that oil in the oil bath. That oil pulls even more of this out, so it doesn't go into your carburetor. Then then the air, comes up. This sits down in your oil, so this kind of keeps your oil in the bath, but that oil will bubble up, the air will bubble up through the oil, and then come up through, it comes up through this screen, inside here, and it comes out here and goes to your carburetor. That's your intake air. Nowadays, everything's like a paper cartridge, which is fine. Personally, I like these oil baths better. Just because they're simple. They require a little bit of maintenance, and that's why they get away from it. But it's just every once in a while, especially if you're in heavy stuff, you take this out, dump the oil out, clean it up with the rag, put it back together, put your new oil and put it back together, and you're good to go again. So I personally like them. Make sure I get this clean real good. I think I might have some brake cleaner here. All right, we're getting it. Okay. Let's see what I got down here on the oil shelf to use. I think I have some 30 weight down here. That's 1030. There we go, straight 30. Some old Shell Rotella. Okay, get this out of the way. I'll just fill that up to above that lip. That's where the line is. The Super A has the same oil bath air cleaner, and you do it the same way. Every once in a while, you take it apart, clean it out, make sure the oil's up to the level. If it drops down below the level too far, then the air will just go right around that oil, and then you're not filtering air at all at that point, and that's no good. All right, I'll put this back on. Basically, there's a screw that comes the whole way up through this part, and the wing nut that goes on the top. One of the things, there's a rubber seal down here. You want to make sure you get that real good and clean so that no air escapes through there. Okay, take you guys over. So yeah, so that's that screw that comes up through. Just a wing nut. Goes on the top. And I'm going to wipe that down one more time here. This is really the biggest thing, is keeping this air cleaner clean and fresh oil in it, and keeping these fins blowed out and clean as much as you possibly can. That's really the key to this. Check your oil. You know, I always check oil before I use anything. I just make sure it's up where it's supposed to be. And especially these air-cooled engines, because they just, you know, they get hot. And the cooler, the more you can do to keep these clean and keep your oil where it needs to be, it's going to go a long way to keep things cooler and last a lot longer. But yeah, these are real simple. Gravely made a ton of these out there. There's all kind of parts out there and stuff. If you guys come across one and you're not sure about them, I suggest getting one. They're wonderful to have. This has been just a real good machine for me. Very reliable machine. Okay, thanks guys.